NBA reporter Dave McMenamin is covering the Lakers and joins us now. Back in the bubble, the Lakers defended Jokic as well as any team in recent memory. We just heard Darvin Ham talk about it. What else are the Lakers saying about this latest challenge?
Well, Kevin, the Lakers actually beat this Nuggets team this season twice prior to the trade deadline. And we know this team has been on fire since they made those roster upheaval moves, but they had some success back then. And Darvin Ham said that was all their defensive intensity, not just on Jokic, but
fourth team in the last 50 years to make the conference finals after being that far under 500 at any point this season. Nikola Jokic, a monster this postseason, averaging 30, 13, and 10, joining the Big O as the only players with 300 points, 100 dimes, and 100 rebounds through their first 11 games in a single postseason. This is the fourth conference finals matchup between these teams, first since the 2020 bubble. In all, LA has won all 7 playoff series against the Nuggets, including 2020. LeBron weighing in on that today.
They were great then, and they're great now, but I think, Joker has gotten 2 more years under his belt. Jamal has gone back to his regular form after the injury. And the rest of those guys have been playing exceptional basketball.
But again, try to do everything we can to do our work early and keep them off balance.
well, shout out to Daniel Stern and Celtic Pride with Darvin Ham's methodology there. But one thing to keep in mind, back in 2020 in the Western Conference Finals, the Lakers had a ton of success throwing Dwight Howard, a bigger body, off the bench against Jokic. Obviously, Howard's not on the team anymore, but Darvin Ham said, I do have the guys on this team to play that type of role. Look to Tristan Thompson. Now, Mo Bamba was not with the Lakers today at practice. He's back in Los Angeles getting that left ankle of his reevaluated on Tuesday. He's going to be doubtful for game one, but that doesn't mean that he couldn't return to the court and then filtering out through the wing. LeBron said that Jokic has gotten so much better over the last several years and that the Lakers can't look at their success the last 2 rounds where they won game 1 in Memphis and won game 1 in San Francisco as something that they can count on going into game 1 against Denver. Darvin said maybe their best chance of success in game 1 is using an unconventional tactic.
Man, try to catch him coming out of his house and kidnap him. I mean, it's just obviously everyone knows how great he is, and just we'll have to mix up pitches, and AD will start on him, but we have a few different guys that'll see action against him.
Lakers 6 fouls against the 2-time MVP.
That is critical. Game 1 is tomorrow night in Denver, right here on ESPN. Dave, thank you so much. All right, the matchup we cannot wait to see. Jokic versus AD. On paper, it should be a great one. Anthony Davis has held opponents to below 30% shooting when he contests their shot this postseason. 4th best by a player over the last 5 playoffs. New on SportsCenter, here's Jokic talking about AD's defense.
AD's, first of all, he's talented defensively, really talented, and they're looking for him. He can score on any kind of basket, roll, face up. So he's a really good offensive player, and on defensive end, he's really, he's athletic. He can block shots. He's leading the playoffs in the blocks, deflection with the quick hands. So he's really good defender. So we will see how it's going to be.
That's the game within the game. NBA champ Kendrick Perkins joining us as our big man here. How should, and literally everybody's passing off phenomenal compliments. You can do that 24 hours before the game. But when you look at defending Jokic, how should the Lakers approach this?
Well, it's 2 ways.
To an end in the East, a dominating 51 points for Jason Tatum to eliminate the Sixers in Game 7 yesterday, breaking Steph Curry's NBA record set just a couple weeks ago. Since entering the league in 2017, Tatum has scored 2,059 points in the postseason, the most by any player. And he just put up just his 6th 50-point, 10-rebound performance in a series-clinching victory in postseason history. Combine that with his 5 assists, he's the first with a 50, 10, and 5 in a series clincher ever. He's also the first player in Celtics playoff history with 50 points and 10 rebounds in a game, which is saying a heck of a lot if you look at the history of
elite level and caliber of a Steph Curry and Jokic. It's no way of stopping them. You just want to make things hard on them defensively. But on the other end, you got to make them play defense as well. So if I'm the Lakers, I got to put Jokic in as many pick and rolls as possible. I got to make sure that he's able to slide those puppies, and I'm attacking downhill to make him waste some of that energy. And it's a two-way streak as well. We talk about who's going to defend Jokic, who's going to defend Anthony Davis. If I'm Anthony Davis, I'm taking this personal. This is a two-time MVP, and I'm going into this game, into this series, and I'm going to be aggressive on the offensive end to make Jokic guard as well.
Feels like a fantastic long series in front of us out west. Perk, let's talk about him. Has snatched the Sixers' souls. What stood out to you in that performance yesterday to close out the Sixers?
Well, Kev, here's the thing. Everybody talk about what's the strategy and what's the game plan. It's not a damn game plan or strategy going into Game 7. Everybody knows everybody's tendencies. They know what kind of car the person is driving. They know the kind of clothes they have in their closet. It's about your superstars rising to the occasion and taking over the game. And what we witnessed yesterday was one team, their superstars, and relying on the others. We're going to be aggressive offensively, and we're going to take over the game. And then we saw on the other hand, the Philadelphia 76ers and James Harden and Joel Embiid basically quit. This is not about Doc Rivers when it comes to the Philadelphia 76ers. In the Game 7, your superstars supposed to take you home, period.
Can you meet the moment? Jason Tatum scored or assisted on 62 points in Game 7. Harden and Embiid combined to create 44 points.
After he did what he did in the fourth quarter, he told the world, humbly speaking, I'm one of the best players in the world, and then followed up with a 51-piece all flat, air fried. That's incredible.
Ooh, I love the air fryer. I'm all with you on that. Perk,
Me
stand
too.
by.
Me too.
Let's stay with this Sixers conversation, okay? Because you brought up Doc Rivers, and that leads into our headlines as Rivers saying he intends to remain the team's coach. Philly has increased its win total in each of and Jonquel Jones this offseason. And don't call it a retirement. Matt Ryan is moving from the backfield to the booth, joining CBS's NFL coverage as an analyst. But the veteran quarterback says he's not retiring. After 14 seasons in Atlanta, Ryan spent last year in Indy, but was released after the season. Ja Morant has the skill, the speed, and the star power to make him one of the faces of the NBA. But for the second time in 3 months, we're not talking about his unique talent. We're talking about his choices, as his social media posts have landed the Grizzlies guard in hot water once again. For more, here's Michelle Steele. They have lost in the second round every postseason under Rivers. Baseball, the Oakland A's have reached an agreement to build a potential stadium along the Vegas Strip. The A's have played at the Oakland Coliseum since 1968. Hope to open up their new $1.5 billion desert home in 2027. And WNBA now. Sabrina Ionescu has agreed to a multi-year extension with the New York Liberty, a first-time All-Star last season. Ionescu is part of a star-studded Liberty.
You're not going to slow him down. You just have to make sure you have a presence on.
Morant suspended again after a video showed the All-Star guard holding a gun on social media over the weekend. This latest incident comes just 2 months after Morant held up a gun on social media at a Denver area nightclub in March, hours after a loss to the Nuggets. The NBA suspended him then for 8 games, and Morant went to a counseling program. The team is now suspending him from all team activities pending league review.
And I think the league office is going to be, far more punitive in how it approaches how long and what this is going to cost Ja Morant away from the Grizzlies and away from the NBA.
After the season, I don't know, but I do know this. A suspension is coming. And it's going to be from the league, and it needs to be from the league because you can't trust the organization to handle it on their own. Evidently, that's not good enough because Ja Morant ain't listening.
Morant is alleged to have been involved in several troubling off-court incidents over the last year, including threatening the head of security at a Memphis mall, punching a 17-year-old and flashing a gun last summer, riding in an SUV that pointed a laser at the Pacers team bus, with one Indiana staffer believing the laser was attached to a gun. Morant addressed his conduct when he returned to practice following his suspension on March 21st.
Obviously, I made mistakes in the past that, caused a lot of, negative attention, not only to me, but more responsible, more smarter, and, don't cause any of that no more.
A lengthy suspension could prove costly for Morant. His 5-year, $194 million